told us round 2, but he delivered it 1 round earlier. Outstanding performance.
What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to the channel, where we dive into the most insane, mind-blowing moments in boxing. Today, we're breaking down a fight no one saw coming, but everyone had to watch. Mike Tyson, the boxing legend, going toe-to-toe with YouTube star Jake Paul. Yeah, you heard that right. This was no ordinary fight. It was a clash of worlds, a moment in boxing history we'll never forget. So grab your popcorn and let's get into the crazy highlights, shocking moments, and what this brutal showdown means for both fighters going forward. On fight night, the arena was buzzing. Fans of every kind, boxing purists, YouTubers, influencers, celebs, were packed into the seats, buzzing with anticipation. And millions more were tuned in online, ready to witness history. The vibe? Straight up electric? It was like the Super Bowl, but with an unexpected twist. You had people betting on Tyson's experience, others on Jake's wild unpredictability. Then, as the fighters walked out, the tension hit a whole new level. Tyson entered the ring like a warrior going to war, focused and intense, almost like he was back in his prime. And then there's Jake, swaggering in with his typical confidence, hyping himself up, clearly ready to prove he was more than just a YouTuber in a boxing ring. The crowd let him have it with all the boos, but you could see Jake had that something to prove energy. And let's just say that energy came in clutch. When that bell rang, everyone was on the edge of their seats. Before the punches even started flying, the tension was unreal. Tyson's stare was like a throwback to his glory days. Pure intimidation. Jake tried to keep his cool, but you could tell he knew who he was up against. The first round was all about testing the waters. Tyson looked to cut off the ring, using his footwork to trap Jake. He may be older, but the power in his movements was crystal clear. Jake wasn't just standing there, though. He dodged, ducked, and threw a few jabs, making it obvious he wasn't planning to go down easily. You could feel it building up like this was just the calm before the storm. Then round 2 started, and things heated up fast. Tyson struck first with a brutal left hook that shook Jake to his core, sending him stumbling back. The crowd lost it. It was like a flashback to Tyson's heyday, and Jake looked like he just had a serious reality check. Tyson's hard work was on full display. This guy gave his all in camp before fight.
When he falls in, gets it if he takes care of Wow. Isolated with Jake.
But here's the twist. Jake didn't back down. He bounced back, landing a right hand that actually caught Tyson off guard. This was the moment that changed things. Tyson realized this wasn't going to be a walk in the park. Jake really earned Tyson's respect early in the fight. Round 3 came and the momentum shifted. Tyson, trying to end things, pushed forward with a string of punches, trying to corner Jake. But Jake countered with a punch that stunned Tyson. Silence. The crowd couldn't believe it. Jake Paul just rocked Mike Tyson. With this opening, Jake pressed forward, throwing punches that actually started to put Tyson on the defensive. In a split second, the script had flipped. Jake was pushing Tyson to the ropes, and for a moment, it looked like he was on the verge of pulling off the impossible. This wasn't just any influencer match. Jake was fighting like he truly believed he could win, and the crowd was finally starting to respect his skill. But Tyson wasn't about to let it end like that. He shook off Jake's surprise attack and went into full-on warrior mode in round 4. The punches were sharper, the footwork tighter, and every shot was landing with insane precision. Jake was on the back foot, desperately trying to stay on his feet as Tyson went to work. This was Tyson reminding the world why he's a legend. I mean, hey, he didn't talk all that trash just to give up this early.
So is it hard for you when someone sits and says you should be fearful of any man on this planet, let alone, Jake Paul?
Hey, I'm fearful of my 13-year-old son. Yeah, this is what I learned through my 58 years of experience. Well, my experience is that anyone's capable of killing you. In my life and the way I lived my life and what I've seen, anyone's capable of killing you, so you should be apprehensive for anyone. That's just my life, the life that I live. Everyone around me, anybody I know is capable of killing you. Even if I don't know you, that's how I look at people. They're all capable of killing you. So I look at them at that, and my objective's like this. So they're capable of killing me. I don't sleep on them. I'm not overconfident with anybody in life.
The crowd was going wild with every hit, but Jake managed to hold on. But then came the 5th round. Both fighters were giving it everything. Tyson was hunting for a knockout, his every move aimed at ending it. But Jake wasn't backing down. He was firing shots of his own, and in a shocking moment, he caught Tyson with a perfectly timed right hook that sent the legend to the canvas. The crowd was in total disbelief. No one saw it coming. Jake Paul had just knocked down Mike Tyson. Tyson tried to get back up, but the fight was called. Jake had won, and the arena was in chaos. People were cheering, booing, and just trying to process what had happened.
And they stopped it! Round 1, knockout, Jake Paul, El Gallo de Dorado!
Another first-round stoppage for the problem child. He told us round 2, but he delivered it 1 round earlier. Outstanding performance.
Jake, the YouTube star turned boxer, had pulled off one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. For Tyson, this loss was huge. It was a reminder that age catches up to everyone, even the greatest. Tyson showed heart and grit, but at 58, time isn't on his side. Losing to Jake Paul didn't erase his legacy, but it did leave a mark. Some fans feel Tyson should have hung up his gloves, while others respect him for stepping in the ring and showing he still has the heart of a champion. This fight showed Tyson's human side. He's still a warrior, but he's no longer in his prime. People will always respect him, but the defeat added an asterisk for some fans. The hype might cool down, but his legacy as one of the best to ever do it? That's not going anywhere. For Jake Paul, this win is a game changer. He went from YouTube fame to stepping in the ring with legends and winning. He's been trying to prove himself as a legit boxer, and beating Mike Tyson is the statement he's been looking for. This win will open doors to even bigger fights, and he's now a contender that everyone has to take seriously. Love him or hate him, Jake's here to stay in the boxing world. The respect he earned from this fight is massive. It's clear Jake has the dedication, the skill, and the drive to make it in this sport. He's not just Jake Paul, the YouTuber anymore. He's Jake Paul, the boxer. And while some may still question his legitimacy, this victory speaks volumes. The fan reaction was wild. People were blown away by the outcome, with reactions ranging from shock to outrage. Hardcore boxing fans were stunned to see Tyson lose to Jake, while younger fans saw it as proof that the new generation could make waves in the sport. Social media exploded, with everyone debating whether this win really put Jake on the map or if it was just a lucky break.
I had the right hand. Really?
For 57 years old, Mike Tyson still has some speed, and he definitely has some power.
That's perfect.
Of course, Jake Paul, he's coming off of an impressive victory versus Ryan Bowerland. Stopped him in the first round. You know, a lot of people are counting Mike Tyson out for this fight. They think he's too old. They think Jake Paul, he's in his prime. He's improving year by year. They think Mike Tyson has no chance. And you can see right here, Mike may look a little bit stiff, but his technique is still there. He has power as well. The power is the last thing to go. Of course, Jake Paul will come into this fight with the height advantage, the reach advantage. the youth advantage. I think Jake Paul is only 28 years old. You know, people have talked about this boxing match happening for some time now.
No one was expecting Jake to not only beat Tyson, but knock him out cold. I mean, pros were out here warning Jake not to take this fight.
I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this. But, you know, he's going to be a lot quicker. If he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning going to be great. But he try to stay back from Mike. He gonna get caught. Mike is like a snake. He'll pop out on you. He get there too quick. But if you charge him, you're gonna smother everything, because everything he push off his legs. He push off his legs so he too close. Like this, but if you give him room, I mean, everybody get knocked out going backwards. Like this, you give him room, you're gonna be messed up.
And you gotta respect Jake for even stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson. That kid has a long way to go, and look at what he's achieved already so early into this career.
You knew from the time he was like 16 years old on YouTube, and you just saw him box, and you saw him knock out former UFC champions, you saw him beat legitimate boxers, or beat athletes, and beat a bunch of MMA fighters. You'd go, this kid can fight. He knows how to fight. Like, nothing he's doing looks wrong. He's not like sticking his head straight up in the air and winging punches with his eyes closed. He's fighting well. He looks good. And if he was just an up-and-coming boxer that was this exciting, like highly promotable, like really good at selling fights, you'd be like, this kid's the future. Mm-hmm. He's really something special. And the fact that he's willing to fight Tyson, even if Tyson's 57, just the fact that he's willing to actually take a chance at Mike Tyson not being able to do what he used to do, because that's what he's doing. The gamble is, like, there's not a fucking chance in hell that Jake Paul would survive against the Mike Tyson that beat Marvis Frazier. You ever watch that fight?
Yeah.
That's my favorite Mike Tyson fight, because that was Mike Tyson before he won the title. It was ABC Wide World of Sports, and Joe Frazier had been talking about Tyson, that if he was in his prime, he'd beat Tyson.
Now the big question, what's next for these fighters? For Tyson, this might be the moment to retire for good. He's proved everything he needed to prove, and then some. But now, it might be time to pass the torch. For Jake, this opens up endless possibilities. He could go for even bigger names or take on more experienced fighters. One thing's for sure, he'll be a major player in the boxing scene going forward. When Jake Paul knocked out Mike Tyson, the whole narrative flipped upside down. Some people are out here trying to downplay this win, acting like Jake just beat some washed-up version of Tyson. But let's get real for a second. Jake didn't just take down any old dude. He faced a Mike Tyson who was looking straight up ferocious in training. Like, this guy was demolishing sparring partners left and right, showing off speed and power that reminded everyone of his prime days. You can't just brush that off because of Tyson's age. He was a beast in the gym, training like he had something serious to prove.
Yeah, the strongest I've ever, and I know you since you're 13. I think this impressed the shit out of me. Nothing impresses me. You know, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I don't lie. I was worried about him traveling here, traveling there, he's not getting, I can sleep now at night. This is great.
My mother died when I was 16, but I wonder if she came back to life, would she know who I am?
What's that?
My mother died at 16. If she came back to life, I wonder if she recognized me.
Yeah, she would. She would.
Yeah.
In the lead-up to the fight, there were clips of Tyson throwing bombs in training, dropping dudes like they were nothing. He wasn't just going through the motions, he was back in savage mode, reminding everyone why he's a legend. So when Jake stepped into that ring, he wasn't just facing some old man, he was up against a Tyson who could still hit like a freight train. Jake's win means a whole lot more than just adding another notch to his belt. This was a statement that he can hang with some of the toughest fighters out there, even those who are straight-up legends. And for Tyson, This loss brings up some serious questions about his future. Was this just a sign that he's past his prime? Or is there something deeper going on? Because, let's be real, Tyson was knocking out guys in sparring, so if Jake Paul, an internet star turned boxer, can take him out, it makes us rethink how we view Tyson's comeback. Now that Jake's got this win under his belt, the narrative has totally shifted. He's shown that he can go toe-to-toe with the big dogs, and that opens up a whole new world of potential matchups that didn't seem possible before. Suddenly, fighting Canelo Alvarez doesn't sound so wild anymore. Remember when he called Canelo out and everyone laughed? Yeah, that was before he knocked out Tyson, and now it's a whole different ballgame. This win is also a major glow-up for Jake as a fighter. He's been facing a ton of criticism and skepticism throughout his boxing journey, but now he's out here silencing the haters, one punch at a time. This victory is more than just bragging rights. It's a clear statement that he's not just a social media personality, but a legit contender in the boxing world. The impact of this fight goes way beyond the ring. It's going to change how the boxing community sees him from here on out. Jake is a legit threat. Jake Paul is on a roll, and after his knockout of Mike Tyson, there's already talk of his next potential opponent. None other than Floyd Mayweather Jr. Yeah, you heard that right. The tension between these two has been building for a while now, and this matchup is heating up like a pot on the stove. Let's dive into what this fight could look like and the beef that's been brewing between them. First off, we all know that Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest boxers of all time. His defensive skills, lightning-fast speed, and unbeaten record have made him a legend in the sport. But what's been fueling the fire between him and Jake Paul is more than just boxing stats. It started back in 2020 when Jake crashed Floyd's press conference for the fight between Floyd and Logan Paul, Jake's older brother. He snatched Floyd's hat and yelled, "Gotcha, hat!" which spiraled into a ridiculous altercation that took the internet by storm. Since then, it's been nothing but tension and trash talk, with Jake constantly calling out Floyd and poking fun at him. Now, let's be real. This potential fight between Jake and Floyd has become more than just a silly beef. It represents a clash of two different worlds in boxing. Jake is the face of the new generation, blending social media fame with boxing, while Floyd is the undefeated champion who built his legacy in the ring through years of hard work and elite skills. However, let's not overlook the strategy behind Jake's recent choices. Many are starting to see a pattern in his opponent's selection. He's been cherry-picking retired fighters who are past their prime. And that's not necessarily a bad tactic. It's actually quite smart. By fighting legends like Floyd and Tyson, Jake is cashing in on their names while avoiding the risk of facing younger, active fighters who could pose a real threat. This strategy allows him to position himself as a serious contender in boxing while still navigating the dangers of the ring. So, while a matchup between Jake and Floyd may get fans hyped up, it's essential to recognize the reality of the situation. Jake isn't just stepping into the ring with any old fighter. He's strategically targeting opponents who have already secured their legacies and are no longer at their peak. It's a smart move on his part, and it's making waves in the boxing world. Floyd versus Paul will sell for sure, and it'll be a great fight. While it's thrilling to consider the outcome, one can't help but notice the tactical chess game Jake is playing as he eyes the legends of the sport, all while carefully sidestepping the young lions hungry to take him down. We all saw what happened when Jake stepped into the ring with a young fighter like Tommy Fury. Jake got destroyed. Tommy Fury isn't even that good of a fighter, and yet he gave Paul the beating of his life. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.